The holiday season is upon us, and you might be thinking, what video games can I play to get into the Christmas spirit? Over the years, there have been countless video games with Christmas themes. For the most part, these are shovelware titles, cranked out quickly and cheaply, and chucked on store shelves just in time for present buying season in order to lure some naive parent into buying it for their unexpecting child's Christmas. So bad are most of these games, they sold so poorly that getting a copy now will run you hundreds of pounds because they're so rare. So you want to get into the Christmas spirit, but you want to play some good games? Then I've got you covered. These are 5 retro Christmas games that don't suck, in no particular order. Number 1, Parasite Eve, a horror JRPG with fun gameplay and a focused story. Parasite Eve was released by Squaresoft in 1998 between the releases of Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII. Sadly, it was never released in Europe, so it wasn't until I was an adult and discovered the dark arts that I was able to play it. When I finally did, I was pleasantly surprised. Parasite Eve follows NYPD detective Aya Brea as she tries, over the Christmas period, to stop Eve, an evil woman who wants to spontaneously combust everyone. It combines horror elements from games like Resident Evil and JRPG elements from games like Final Fantasy. In fact, the combat feels reminiscent of Vagrant Story, which came later, so it must have inspired it. It's a really fun game, especially if you like the gore. The combat system is fun and varied, and the cinematics for the time were really spectacular. It's fairly linear, but that just allows it to focus on the story without getting too bogged down in distractions. 2 sequels were released in subsequent years that were also well worth playing. Number 2, Home Alone. Protect the neighbourhood from the wet bandits in this challenging Christmas caper. Home Alone is my favourite Christmas movie of all time, and the game that goes with it is almost as fun. There were actually several completely different Home Alone games for various consoles, but I'm focusing on the version for Sega Mega Drive. Released in 1992, you play as the ingenious Kevin McAllister as you try to protect the houses in your neighbourhood from the villainous wet bandits. The premise is simple. You explore the neighbourhood on your sled, collecting items for weapons and booby traps. You then use these in the various houses to prevent the bandits from robbing them. If you can force their pain meter to full, you'll successfully drive them off to the next house. Keep this up until the police arrive and you win. It's a fun game with a simple premise, but it's also quite challenging. I'll admit, I've never been able to stop them from robbing all of the houses, but there must be some sort of strategy, right? If you want to get in the Christmas spirit, this game is perfect. Challenge your friends and family to save the day and watch the film for some inspiration. Number 3, Batman Returns. Defeat the Penguin and save the day, if you can rise to the challenge. This is another movie tie-in game and was released in 1992 for the Sega Mega Drive, though other versions exist. You play as the Caped Crusader, exploring Gotham City and taking on the Penguin's goons in an attempt to save the city. The first thing to note is that this game is really hard. If you're not a fan of difficult games, this one probably isn't for you. It's the sort of game you'd sit with for hours on end on Christmas Day just trying to figure it out. That being said, it has all the hallmarks of a Batman game. Rugged combat, multiple gadgets, and platforming using the grappling hook. The tone is dark, brilliantly matching Tim Burton's film. I'd recommend it if you like a challenge, or even if you're just a simple Batman fan. Number 4, James Pond 2, Codename Robocod. Infiltrate Santa's grotto and save Christmas from the evil Dr. Maybe. This colourful platformer was released in 1991 for multiple systems. You take on the role of James Pond as you traverse 50 different levels to try and liberate Santa's workshop from Dr. Maybe and his army of meanies. The environments are a little psychedelic and probably oversaturated with colour, but that just adds to the charm. The gameplay is pretty simple, but there's so much to explore and loads of different items to collect, so it never gets boring. Combine that with some fun boss fights and you'll have Santa saved and back to work in no time. And finally, number 5, Die Hard Trilogy. Yippee-ki-yay, Father Christmas, 3 games in 1 and a whole lot of fun. Released in 1996, Die Hard Trilogy takes on the plot of the first 3 films, with each one represented by a different style of gameplay. In Die Hard 1, John McClane climbs different levels of Nakatomi Plaza, taking on terrorists and rescuing hostages. The style of this one is an arcade third-person shooter, and it is an incredible amount of fun. It's great exploring the different environments, looking for new weapons and health items to keep McClane one step ahead of the terrorists. There are bonuses for rescuing all of the hostages, and there's added tension when the countdown starts to a bomb going off. Overall, it's the most well-rounded game in the trilogy, and probably most people's favourite. Die Hard 2 Die Harder is an on-rails first-person shooter. McClane makes his way through the airport, putting down terrorists in his effort to save Christmas for everyone in Duel's airport. It's pretty straightforward. You shoot the baddies when they pop up and try to pick up better guns, grenades and lives as you go. This is my favourite of the 3 games, probably because when I got this as a kid it came with a light gun, and I was so excited to play with this on Christmas morning I didn't even touch the other 2 games that day. The less said about Die Hard with a Vengeance, the better. You drive around New York City in a variety of vehicles trying to get there on time to stop bombs going off. It's fun if you like rushing around in a car, but it very quickly loses its appeal. There's not a whole lot of depth to the gameplay, and it's really difficult. This is by far the worst game on here, but luckily for us it's not even set at Christmas, so we don't need to count it. Overall, you can get a lot of fun out of the first 2 games, so the third one doesn't even matter. And in the eternal words of the immortal Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So those were 5 retro Christmas games that don't suck. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know what your favourite Christmas game is in the comments. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas.